Surya. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Śaṅkaram Loka Śaṅkaram Śaṅkaram Śaṅkaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Namah Pranavarthaye Shuddha Jnanaikamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Vyasa Śaṅkara Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vedaha nityam adhiyatam tad uditam karmasvanushthiyatam. May one do perfectly the karma arising from one's own study of the Veda. Vihita karma, nishkama karma, karma that needs to be done, kartavyam karma. We said yesterday that in view of the current situation, Swami, I am already 55 years old. You want me to start reading Rig Veda now? No, not necessary. We have a wonderful option in terms of Bhagavad Gita. Teneshasya vidhiyatam apachitihi kamye matistejyatam. Apaugha paridhuyatam bhavasuke doshonusandhiyatam. Dosha anusandhiyatam. Atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagrahat turnam vinirgamyatam. You will see that this covers almost all of the brahmacharya phase of one's life and the grihastha phase of one's life. Its way it's structured is also very interesting to see, because you will see that each line in the two parts ends in tam, tam, adhiyatam. Everything ends in tam. Why is it tam? Because what the Acharya is trying to tell us is, may one do this, or in fact more correctly, may this be done by one. In English, this tense is called, or mood is called, in Sanskrit it is called lot, imperative mode in English. In other than the tenses, the three kala, past, present, and future, there is also these tenses, these moods. How do you tell somebody, please do this, may you do this, may you please come to my house for dinner, may I have shraddha, please come. Or order somebody, get that. For all this, there are what are called moods. Imperative mood in English is called lot lakara, and vidhi. Vidhi ling is like a command. And Ashir ling, Ashirvada, benedictive mode. All of them more or less have similar meanings. Lot and ling have mostly similar meanings. These meanings are called vidhi, which means an order. Do this is an order. Nimantrana is an invitation. All this, Sanskrit has sutras. Nimantrana is an order which you cannot refuse. Like our famous Godfather. Make him an offer, he cannot refuse. I don't know how many of you have seen the iconic picture. Marlon Brando means put a gun to his head and make him an offer. Make him an offer you cannot refuse. An invitation is one that normally cannot be refused. Called nimantrana. You will see this word also in Hindi, in perhaps some of the other Indian languages as well. Amantrana is another word, which is an invitation which you can say, I'm so sorry, I cannot come. I cannot do this. So vidhi, nimantrana, amantrana, adhishta is a request, but typically request with a lot of respect and perhaps something in compensation for it. A common example is, please teach my son. For which, of course, the person might offer something. Adhishta. Samprashna. Lot can also be used for, have you done this? Are you doing this? Can also be used. And prarthana. Yachana. Please give me. In all these senses, this can be used. Here, in these verses, you got 40 of these. Tam, 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 tam. 40 of these. Each step is a tam. It's not a command. It is probably can be taken as a nimantrana. A sadhaka who wants to gain the sadhyavastu mokṣā, for him, it's a nimantrana. May you do this. You don't really have an option. If you don't do, then you don't get the end result that you're looking for. So in that sense, it is a nimantrana. And the way this is done, may one do this, can also be said as, may this be done by one in a passive voice. Here, all of these are in passive voice, called karmani prayoga. So, vedo nityam adhiyatam. May one study one's Veda. No, may one's Veda be studied by one. Karmani. Like that, you will find each of them. Vedo nityam adhiyatam tad uditam karma anushtiyatam. May that karma be done perfectly by one. May that karma, as enjoined by your Veda, be done by one perfectly. Vedo nityam adhiyatam taduditam karma swanushtiyatam. We saw these yesterday. What is the Veda udita karma? Veda vihita karma, Vedokta karma, or nishkama karma, for which I am not specifically seeking an end, a target, a result. This is vihita karma, or nishkama karma. We said yesterday there are nishkama karma, kamya karma, then prohibited karma, and also compensatory karma. Here this refers to nishkama karma or vihita karma. Karma that have been told to be done by person at different stages. It is karma to be done, it's kartavyam. And therefore, irrespective of the end result, one does this karma. So having studied once, not having studied, continuing to study one's own Veda, or in the absence of that opportunity, studying the Bhagavad Gita as an option. Like I said, adhiyatam means both doing parayanam, repeated chanting, and whole thing gets by heart. And also analysis. Only this morning I was discussing, when you try to learn something by heart, if you try to do analysis simultaneously, it's a little bit more difficult. Because you're trying to learn something by heart by repeated chanting. And then something occurs to you because you're already analyzing, your mind is already busy analyzing. You go in that subway and this stops. Because it takes much longer. As it is, when a person has grown in age, it takes longer to memorize. And then the difficulty is definitely there. Because one of the thoughts that comes to mind is, if adhyayanam is to be started when one is a brahmachari, I am already grahastha. You ask me to do Veda adhyayanam. That is why we found a nice alternative in the form of Bhagavad Gita. We missed the boat when we were in the student's phase of our life. Not that the student phase ever ends. It's always there. That student phase never ends. Even past 70, one continues to learn. But primary focus on learning at which stage? So one still does Parayanam. One still does continues to do analysis. And one also follows the karma that is told in these texts. That karma is done without any kama, without any definite end result. I want this, therefore I am doing this karma. It's a tough thing in the sense that we are so used to saying, I will do karma because I want an end. We don't start with karma, we start with an end. And then we say, okay, therefore I need to do this karma to try and get that end. We get it, we won't get it. Therefore, there has to be an end. What is the end of such karma? What is the target for such karma? There is only one target. Atma Shuddhi. I do this because I need to gain that status of an undisturbed antakarana, which we always have said is a prerequisite for gaining the sadhyam, mokṣā. Therefore, that is the end, only end that we can think of. That end is not a kama. It's also desire. I want to get to a state of Atman Shuddhi, Antakarana Shuddhi. But it is not one that is related to sense satisfaction. Even working towards lokas is not for sense satisfaction. No, it's also sense satisfaction. Why do you want to go to loka? Because Shastra says when you go to Loka, you have no dukkha. You have only sukha. So you have postponed arthakama. So that also doesn't work. So the objective of this kind of adhyayanam is first for Atma-Shuddhi. And by doing the karma that is specified, we gain that status of Atma-Shuddhi. So these are the first two steps that Acharya has told us. Teneshasya vidhiyatam apachitihi. Vidhiyatam, same karmani load from a dhatu. Dhatu is a root in Sanskrit. The root, whole Sanskrit language is based on some 2000 roots. This root is called dha. From the root dha, you get vidhiyatam. The first one also we said, Vedo nityam adhiyatam. That's a different root. Very funnily, that is called ing. Although it becomes vidhiyatam, because ing always goes with adhi. Vedo nityam adhiyatam. Here it is. Teneshasya vidhiyatam. Vidhiyatam, kriyatam, may it be done by one. What may be done by one? Ishasya apachitihi vidhiyatam. Isha is Ishvara. Apachiti is worship, prayer, reverence. Therefore, Ishasya apachitihi kriyatam. By what? Tene. Tena. Tena is by which? By what? By what has been said earlier. Karmasvanushthiyatam. By doing the vihita karma, you do it as a prayer to Ishvara. Now that all those of us who have studied even the Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, we always go back to what are the reminders of Karma Yoga. Understand Ishvara and do what we do as an offering to Ishvara. Because the understanding is the to be done karma, kartavyam, is Ishvara. The whole creation, Srishti, is a Mahayajna. And in that Mahayajna, each one has a part to play. We saw this in the Bhagavad Gita, that the whole Mahayajna is there, how continuous creation, rain brings food, food brings the body, the sharira, the body brings the procreation, whole cycle is there. In all this Mahayajna, we have a role to play. Each one has a role to play. This whole Mahayajna creation is Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. What is created is Ishvara. The creation is also Ishvara. And we have a part to play in that. That part we have to play is called kartavyam. What one has to do. That karma which is to be done is part of the yajna and therefore is Ishvara. When one recognizes this, then whatever karma you do, that problem of saying, for what end am I doing this karma is false. I am doing this karma because it is to be done. And as a to be done karma, I offer this to Ishvara. Tena Ishasya apachitihi. The worship of Ishvara is part of the whole Mahayajna. Teneshasya vidhiyata. May one's karma that is vihita, that is given in the Shastra, be done. We said Bhagavad Gita, we are using a substitute. There also we have clear indications of what we should be doing. And that is part of the Karma Yoga. I do what I do because it is to be done. And therefore, whatever results come, I accept. Because there is also Ishvara. Teneshasya vidhiyatam apachitihi. This karma has to be done at brahmacharya stage. There are specific karmas. At grihastha stage, there are specific karmas. As well as at vanaprastha stage, there are specific karmas. Only in the sannyasa stage, there are no specified karma to be done. Therefore, one can see that as the brahmachari, I have certain karma to be done. If you look at the Vedic karma, there are Vedic karmas to be done. Sandhyavandanam ityadi. Other than the study, focus on study. As a grihastha, there are agnihotra ityadi. As a vanaprastha also, there are specific karmas. We said if we, since today's world, we cannot go back to Veda and look at the karma to be done. Although really Veda, without having really gone into every aspect of what the Veda says, what you have to do is very clear. And for that, there's a very good option in the form of Pancha Mahayajna. Everything I do, am I fulfilling my role? And a specific role that I play, I have certain duties to perform. And all of this I do as an offering to Ishvara. Only in the stage of sannyasa, there is no karma specific. Sannyasi is expected to eat what he or she gets. I don't like, I like, doesn't even come into the picture. Not worry about any other aspect. Spend the entire time only focusing on that Atma Jnanam. Because by that time, the sannyasi has already crossed all these stages and focusing, there is only one thing to know. All others are not relevant. Teneshasya apachitihi vidhiyatam. Ishasya apachitihi vidhiyatam. This vidhiyatam is for nishkama karma. When one focuses on these, then the big enemy in life, biggest enemy in life, there are two of them, constantly waylaying us and taking us away from what we really need to do. Raga and Dvesha. That is the underlying psychological basis for Bhagavad Gita. How do I manage Raga Dvesha? Generally, our actions are dictated by Raga Dvesha. I want this, therefore, like I said, we first set a goal saying, I want to gain this, therefore I do this. Despite the Gita injunction, which says, Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. That is how life is. We do that. We do look at that. Therefore, having done this much, Acharya says, Kamye matistyajyatam. Let your life not be dictated by Raga Dvesha. These two, tau hi asya paripantinau. Bhagavad Gita. Paripantinau is highway robber. In our path, in our sadhana, these are the two who keep on robbing us. If we are alert to this, they cannot easily take us away from our goal. There are so many small goals that we set because of Raga Dvesha. If we can handle it, let that goal be worked upon, but may that action not be dictated, may my life not be dictated by Raga Dvesha, by Kamya Karma. This is the second of the karma we saw. One is Nishkama Karma, which we said must do. If I don't do Nishkama Karma, do I earn Papa? Maybe not. But your preparation for moksha is delayed. But if I give in to Kamya Karma, which is what generally happens, then the delay becomes very long, sometimes infinite. Because it is like a quagmire. It just keeps sucking us in more and more and more. Kamye matistyajyatam. That desire for immediate results, and it's getting quicker and quicker in the minds of most human beings. I want it now. Will drive us away from this. Not only will it drive us away from it. Suppose I don't do my Hita Karma. You can't sit quiet. You have to do something. What will you do? One will go doing either Nisheda Karma or Kamya Karma. Nisheda Karma is prohibited karma. Karma which Shastra categorically says don't do. Kamya Karma is those that we do because of certain short targets and goals. We will do one of those. You cannot sit not doing anything. So even if I say that doing Vihita Karma is good for me because it takes me the right direction, but not doing Vihita Karma does not incur Papa. Let us assume. One, it will delay my progress. Two, If I don't do this Vihita karma, I will do one of the others. That means the end will not get reached easily. Therefore, kamye matis tejyatam. Do not work on certain sankalpa. I must get this, I must get this, I must get it now, today I must get it. Oh, this is a very bad prescription you're giving me. I'm not giving sadhana. Adi Śaṅkara is just giving you. But let's understand what he's saying. Let it not dictate your life. One thing that will happen when you work on kami karma is you can gain kami karma. You can get small gains. There's no problem with that. Provided I understand these are very small kamya result I'm looking for. They should not hamper my progress to what I really want. Then kami karma is okay. Problem with kami karma is it never ends there. It pushes me into doing things which I should not do. I said either one will do kami karma or will one do nishedha karma. Not doing vihita karma delays my progress. I'm going at 100 kilometers an hour, I'm down to 40 kilometers because I'm not doing my kami karma. I'm not doing my vihita karma. So I end up doing something else. I do kami karma. Kami karma brings me to a standstill because I've gone elsewhere. Bad enough. But what else does it do? It pushes one into doing nishedha karma. Then what happens? Not only does it stop us from going forward, it pulls us back. Puts us in reverse gear. So, kamya karma, if one understands the overall thinking, never loses sight of the goal one is trying to reach, then kamya karma cannot bother you. How? By making sure that I do all my vihita karma. If I don't have time for all this nonsense. Or if I do find the time because there are small things I want for myself, for my children, for my parents, okay. But don't let that become the dominant factor. Understand that their role is to slow one down. But I need to do this. Okay, do. But you understand what's happening to you. But don't let it become a drag. Don't let it become a negative thing. Kamye matis tejyatam. Therefore, over time, slowly, gradually, the desire for limited ends be given up. If Atma Shuddhi is my end, Antakarana Shuddhi is my end, which is what I said is the end for Vihita Karma, and one is clear on that, then these will not affect much. So Acharya says, by doing one's duty with Atma Shuddhi as the purpose, any kamya karma one does loses its bite. It may still slow one down from 100 kilometers or 90 kilometers, but it will not drag us down to 20 kilometers. So very easily he said, abandon kamya karma. Not so easy to do, but be alert to what kamya karma is and what it does. Ganeshasya vidhiyatam apachitihi kamye matistyajyatam. May the kama, limited end result, be given up by one, so that one's progress in this sadhana can continue without delay, without hindrance. What is the result of this? If one does what is to be done as Ishvara Arpanam, one thing it does is it slows down any binding by kamya karma. It also reduces the possibility of doing karma which is not to be done. Adharma. Somehow I must get this end, even if it involves causing himsa to other people or other jivas, is what one pushes one into the negative zone. By focusing on one's to be done duty, and therefore not allowing kamya karma to blossom into nisheda karma, and working towards Atma Shuddhi, one will avoid any papa. Ganeshasya vidhiyatam apachitihi kamye matistajyatam papaugha paridhuyatam. By following these steps, may the group of papa, collected papa, be shaken off by one. Ogha is samuha, the group of papa karmas that are already there in our account, and more papa karma being forced upon us by pushing us to do kamya karma, leading to nisheda karma, and therefore more papa. By adhering to these simple steps that Acharya has given us, may the papa ogham be destroyed, be removed, be shaken off. Paridhuyatam. Dhuyatam. May it be shaken off. Paridhuyatam only emphasizes that there is no change in the meaning. The root dhatu dhu remains with pari as a prefix. Paridhuyatam. This papa is a result of ragadvesha. More strong the ragadvesha, more the tendency to cut corners, the tendency to see where one can gain this, even though I compromise my own dharma. So, paridhuyatam, may it be removed, may it be destroyed, may it be shaken off. Dhu is to shake. Paridhuyatam, may it be shaken off, destroyed. By Swadharma Anushtanam and Ishvara Arpana. Bhagavad Gita, again, going back to that, repeatedly reminds us that doing one's own dharma is more beneficial, even if apparently another dharma of another looks better. Paradharmo bhayavaha. It creates more problems. Bhayavaha only meaning end result is clearly understood. All these words mean take you away from the end result. Some will leave us stranded in one place. Some will push us down the valley. Right? Struggle will start all over again to climb up. So bhayavaha in that sense. Papaghav paridhuyatam. Every papa is an obstacle. I have to find a method of exhausting the papa karma, the phala of the papa karma. It is also true of punya karma. Any karma I do, the result, the phala has to be experienced. Therefore, while papa karma becomes a chain with iron chain which pulls us back, punya karma is a golden chain which pulls us back. Does that mean that I should do no karma at all if I want to progress? You can't do that. That also is not possible. Here also Bhagavan says, no, even for a kshana you can't be sitting doing nothing. In the Bhagavad Gita. So what should you do? Do only nishkama karma, where the end result is only antakarana shuddhi. All comes down to that only. Any karma is a shackle. I live in this jagat, I have a sharira, I have to do things. Therefore, he says, cut down as much as possible on kamya karma, totally avoid nisheda karma. Focus only on nishkama karma. And even if I have to do some kamya karma, remember that the kamya karma is done as an offering to Ishvara, and therefore whatever comes at the end of it, despite all my efforts, whatever comes at the end of it, I still accept as prasada. Clean karma yoga. Papagha paridhuyatam. All right. How do I do this? How do I take charge of myself and not get stuck in kamya karma or nisheda karma? Kamya karma will lead to nisheda karma. It's a given. how do I conduct my life that I'm able to focus to the extent I can on only on nishkama karma. I'm using these words carefully. To the extent I can. There are a lot of things that are happening in one's own mind. And even if I have to do some kamya karma, how do I ensure that that does not push me into nisheda karma? How do I manage things like that? A Acharya says, the answer is simple. Bhavasukhe dosha anusandhiyatam. Examine why I want this end karma. I want to gain certain sukha. Therefore, I'm doing this, hoping that this will lead me to that kind of sukha. Although it is kamya karma, the karma is in some form security or desire, fulfillment. Bhavasukha. Bhavasukha is laukika sukha. That experiential sukha, which is very different from the Atma Sukha we've been talking about in other classes. How do I manage that experiential sukha? Parikshya lokan karmachatan brahmana. Examine them. See what it is that we're seeking. And what is the result of the seeking? If I get a little bit of sukha for a small amount of time, under very specific conditions, that sukha one gains, the laukika sukha, for which I put a lot of effort. That effort is itself a cause of dukkha. Swami G, I enjoy that effort, no? The whole process I enjoy. Okay, maybe you do. But that effort means there are other sukha which I can't get. Because my time, my effort, my energy, my mind share has gone there. Should I have worked on that? Should I have tried to gain that sukha? So this effort itself is a cause for the opposite, dukkha. Having gained that sukha, already one starts fretting. Oh, this will go away. This will go away. This will go away. Somebody will steal it. Tax fellow will come. Something or the other will be there. Even while the sukha is there, one is doing the bhoga of the sukha, there's always these issues. Even while one is enjoying a wonderful weather. Back of the mind, I know, especially if you live in a place like Delhi. Springtime, February time, whole city blossoms into colorful flowers. Weather is awesome. But I'm already dreading April. I know it's going to be miserable come April. So even while one is enjoying the sukha, there is always this issue. And what happens after the dukkha will finish? Then what happens? Oh, it was so nice. Now look at it. Miserable. So whether during the period of seeking that sukha, bhava sukha, or during the pendency of the sukha, or after the sukha is lost, there is always dukkha. This one nobody can do anything about it. This is a problem with bhava sukha, laukika sukha. May you be alert and aware of this. It's a dosha. Bhava sukha dosha. May you be alert to the dosha of the bhava sukha that you are seeking through your kamya karma. Bhava sukhe dosha anusandhiyatam. Again, the dha dhatu here, but now with another upasarga, anu and some, anusandhiyatam. May one contemplate upon the dosha of bhava sukha, laukika sukha of any kind. Swamiji, at least I'm getting this much, no? But contemplate upon what you're losing. However big the sukha is, I'm losing infinite. This is one dosha. The other dosha is, it is dependent upon time and space and vastu. If I have this, I will be sukhi. Doesn't always happen that. You don't always have that. It is anitya. Comes at a certain point in time, goes away after some time. Is dependent upon another object and goes away when that object is not there. Or a person, or a relationship. As long as I'm at home, I'm okay, but I have to go to work. I have a very bad boss. I have very bad colleagues. Depending upon where and when and what. So any bhava sukha will have this kind of dosha, which also one has to examine. One also examines another kind of dosha. The bhava sukha I may get, I work for through my kamya karma. Either I get it or I don't get it. If I get, we've already seen where the problems are. There is one more problem. If I get it, because it goes away, I want it again, or I want more of it. I've always wondered, people who think money is what gives them that sukha, does give some comfort. Nobody can deny that. Money has value. But after the first million, what additional sukha does the second million give? Maybe half of what he got in the first million. A third million gives half of that only. A fourth million gives half of even that. By the time you go to the 10th or 12th or 15th, the incremental sukha you get is so little. Even then, the effort to gain the next never stops. You have atripti. I keep getting, why does that atripti come? Because it does not address what I am looking for. So it continues. Atripti continues. Money is a great example for that. But suppose at some point you don't get whatever it is that one is working towards by karmic karma, one doesn't get. Then what happens? How can I not get? I am such a powerful fellow. I'm going to try here, I'm going to try there, I'm going to try this trick, I'm going to try the other trick. So either it pushes one into doing nisheda karma. Somehow I must gain this. It'll come sometime or other, it'll come. Or one gets into state of frustration and anger. These are all doshas of any kind of experiential sukha. Whether the sukha we see comes from a material object, a person, a relationship, a situation, any of these ends up as a dosha. Therefore, he says, bhavasukhe doshaha, doshaha. Many doshas are there. Anusandhiyatam. Examine closely. Yes, sir. Bhoga arising out of closeness, contact. Samparshaja bhogaha. All of them have these kind of issues. So if I'm going to aim for this bhavasukha, all Acharya is saying, bhavasukhe doshaha anusandhiyata. Be aware of, be alert to, contemplate upon. He is not saying, don't do. Don't aim for this. Be aware of and be alert to the dosha. So step by step, Vedaha nityam adhiyatam, tad uditam karma svanushthiyatam. Focus on what is to be done. Kartavyam karma. With that kartavyam karma, accepting that Ishvara, tena ishasya apachitihi. Teneshasya vidhiyatam apachiti. Teneshasya kriyatam. Tena ishasya apachitihi kriyatam. Kamye matistyajatam. These are all meant for grahastha. By doing this, papaugam paridhuyatam. shake off the pap samuha. And don't get sucked into it by recognizing, by contemplating, by thinking about bhavasuke doshaha anusandhiyatam. Be alert, be conscious of what it can give you. Sooner or later, with this awareness, one will say that if this is what is going to be a problem, this is not what I want. Lokan karmachatan brahmanaha vedam ayat akritat kritena. By doing, I am not going to get that which cannot be gained by doing. Sooner or later that will happen. So these steps guide one through the stages of brahmacharya and grihastha. These not necessarily mean brahmacharya means you wear white and stay in a gurukulam. That is what used to be at one time, but that's not true today. But in terms of one's own focus of work. This continues in the same way. If this is the problem, if this is the issue, there are dosha that is there that I have to see. What should I do? One said, be alert, be aware. Look at where your something on which you can lean, which is stable. All that we were talking about here are shaky. You want to lean on that, you will fall down only. What is it that is unshakable? That which upon which I can lean and continue to be stable. Which will be sthita. It will take me to sthita prajnata. We will see that next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.